Hey, what's going on? This is Treves from YouthBuild Columbus. And today, a few of my friends and I would like to talk to you about a sickness that's going around. If left untreated, it can lead to low college success rates and an increase in high school dropouts. This is where you, the educator, comes in. You all carry the vaccine, and all you have to do is think outside of the box and teach to the edges. But hey, I'm getting ahead of myself. Check out this video from Ty Rose. He can tell you more about how you can do your part to help us all.
We're spending more money than ever before, but we're getting worse results. Whether we're talking about declining test scores in math and science, or our dropout crisis, you probably know that we have over 1.2 million dropouts every single year in high school in this country. What you may not know is that at least 4% of those dropouts are known to be intellectually gifted. That means we're losing over 50,000 of our brightest minds every single year. Here's what I mean. Even though we have one of the most diverse countries in the history of the world, and even though it's the 21st century, we still design our learning environments like textbooks for the average student. No kidding. We call it age appropriate, and we think it's good enough. But of course it's not. I mean, think about it. What does it even mean to design for an average student? Because a student is not one-dimensional, like struggling to gifted. Students vary on many dimensions of learning, just like they vary on dimensions of size. Here are a few obvious ones. And just like size, each student, every single one of them, has a jagged learning profile. Meaning they have strengths, they're average at some things, and they have weaknesses. What if we ban the average in education? We know it destroys talent.
Sicker than your average.
To me, teaching to the edges means thinking about multiple intelligences, thinking about the culture of the people that you're working with and teaching, and using other techniques like popular education to make the classroom a place where knowledge is being shared, and knowledge is not just from the teacher, but knowledge is being shared from everybody in the space.
It's just kind of like showing interest in the students' interests, or just, not just like this is the square that you have to fit in, but like, this going a little bit beyond just like the core curriculum of like, we just got to pass these kids along, I guess.
Just being able to incorporate the indifferences within the classroom, the different learning styles that students have. Everybody doesn't learn the same. So thinking about, the auditorial, the kinesthetic learners and those, and incorporating it. But then being able to support individual growth and success, because again, there's kind of different stuff that plays out. There's different talents going on within individual students.
When it's all said and done, when it comes to education, I don't really believe, this is my opinion, it shouldn't be just one particular thing. We are young people, we are people that evolve. And as we evolve, we need different things and different methods of learning.
Sicker than your average.
Basically, that teacher, and it's kind of hard to even find out those teachers that are out there. You go from class to class every time, and it's not the usual. You just go into class and the teacher looks at you and sometimes doesn't even give you that attention, that acknowledgement that you're making it into class, and especially for those that come in on time and ready to learn. But there are those teachers that come in, and one thing that I've learned, that when they talk to you by your name, when they call you up by your name, they're really knowing that you're there, they're acknowledging that. And that's a great thing, because that's when you start to notice that they know who you are, they believe in you. That's the first thing that automatically comes up to your head.
Trying to get out there and reach the folks that probably wouldn't have been reached, that probably would have just fell off the side of society, like the folks that nobody cares about. the opportunity youth. Like if nobody's out there teaching to the edges, like altering your teaching schemes and just the way you go about it, there's gonna be those people that are lost, you know. So you gotta get everybody in there.
Ha, sicker than your average.
I moved around a lot also, so I mean I had a lot of exposure to the different like teaching styles from different school districts, from like, you know, different teachers, and like I always just kind of like felt like I was like just pushed along. Like I mean like that's okay to an extent, but like for someone that's like just like moving around a lot, like I just felt like I would start one thing and it would just like, you know, I would move along or I'd get in trouble and it was just like just be gone. So like when I think of like one like teacher out of like, you know, my 3 years of college, like, you know, like everyone, I think of one particular person. That's my 8th grade English teacher, and he looked at me as a, you know, he saw me, I was a straight D, straight F student. Like I didn't do anything. I just like I showed up to class if I showed up to class kind of student. But he had found out that I was writing poetry and I was like, you know, into like literature. I was reading, you know, like Alexander Pope and stuff like that. He found that out, and then he gave me like some textbooks, not textbooks, but like just some books, and that's like throughout these years. I'm 26 years old. That was like, you know, 11 years ago. Like that's my token like memory. That's like someone like just put like a little bit of faith in me, kind of thing.
For our assignments, whatever the topic was, she wanted it to be relatable so that we can tell a story within our writing. She made it really creative. And since I'm a poet, she would even let me write poetry as long as it was directed on a topic. And as far as us learning the structures of sentences, what she did was she taught us the structure, but then she wanted us to make up our own sentences. She made everything relatable.
Every day she let me know that my best was good enough, and it wasn't how fast I produced my work, but what I produced and what it meant to me. And she showed me that she gave me a newfound respect for every finished product that I had.
One teacher, you know, I remember that I, you know, grammatically, right, may have not been the best at like writing stuff and making sure all the punctuality was correct and all that. But this teacher was really concentrating on like content, and this teacher really concentrated on like what was the message behind your essay, like what was the message behind what you're trying to say. And then afterwards we'll work on, you know, the small little details that need to be fixed. But he really wanted us to first focus on the message and on what your essay is about and what you hope that the reader gets, you know. And through your message, they'll get to learn about you a little better. So to me, that teacher really showed me like an emphasis on my content and like the substance, and not just the punctuality, but the substance behind what we were doing.
Ha, sicker than your average.
My name is Jamil Alexander.
My name's Xavier Jennings.
My name is Ellie.
My name's Ismael Barajas.
My name's Mike Laredo.
My name is Maria Valdez.
My name is Naja Bland, and I'm sick of
Sicker than
I'm sicker than the
Average.